Welcome to episode 13 of the Arctic Crafts podcast. You can find me on Instagram as Arctic Crafts, on Facebook as Arctic Crafts by Bente, on Etsy as Arctic Crafts by Bente, and on Ravelry as Arctic Crafts 65. This is episode 13 and I'm recording on Friday the 13th. What can possibly go wrong? I'm doing Vlogmas, so I've already started recording today's Vlogmas, and there's a playlist for Vlogmas on my channel if you want to check out my Vlogmas. And if this is your first time watching my podcast, a very big welcome to you. I hope you stick around and subscribe. And to the rest of you, welcome back. I'm going to wing it today because it's Advent, it's busy, it's already the 13th. That means there's only 11 days to Christmas. Yes, in Norway we celebrate Christmas on the 24th. That's, by the way, why my Vlogmas only has 24 episodes, because Christmas Eve is the big day in Norway. And as I said, I have no show notes, so today I'm winging it. It may be a short one as well, because I have no finished objects, because I've been doing a lot of gift knitting, and they're already in the mail. And I've been working exclusively, more or less, on my Advent project, because this year the Advent project uses up the entire minis, so it's 20 grams, and I have to knit. I'm going to show you the project later, because all I have to show today are works in progress. And I'm going to start with one of my own yarns. This bag, by the way, is from Jibberoo Sues, and I've showed you it before. I showed it on the last podcast, I think. I love the lining as well. It's really Christmassy. I dyed up something I called silver lining, and this is what it looks like in the cake. The cake is a bit messy, but that's because I've started using it. And I showed the picture of this to my eldest son, and he loved the colorway. So these are for him. And I'm going to do an afterthought heel on these, because he's coming home for Christmas, so I get to measure his feet properly. So that's why I'm doing an afterthought heel in these. And the beautiful rainbow progress keeper is from Yarn and Craft, I think. And as you can see, this colorway stripes in a sock. And it's I really like it, and it's silver lining, of course, is because it's kind of a personal colorway for me, this, because if I had a bad day or a rough period, I always know there's better days coming, so gray with a rainbow. And I'm not sure how long I'm going to knit these before I start on the second one, but if they're not done by Christmas, I can always send them to him in the mail afterwards. Because I'm busy these days, I haven't got time to knit a lot besides my Advent project, and I of course have agreed to do 2 test knits for Rye Flower Knits. I love her patterns, so I always... And these I'm knitting with my own yarn, so extra fun. One of them I haven't started yet, so I'm planning on casting that one on this weekend. It's a hat, so it will be finished by next Friday, so I'll be showing you the hat on my last podcast before Christmas. The other test knit I'm doing for... Sorry, I have to reach. The bag it's in is by Busy Pottering. and it's woodland animals, and I just love all the foxes. I say woodland animals, there's only foxes. And here's her label. Busy pottering. I have two colors that I wanted to combine. I've been wanting to combine them because one of them is one of my favorite colorways, Rock Garden. And if you see, you can see that this colorway, sorry it's blowing out, have some green speckles in it. So I've paired it with Guacamole. And I'm using them in Rye Flower Knits. The shawl is called Jessamy. And since the deadline for the Testknit is in the end of January, it probably won't be released until February. Correct me if I'm wrong, Melinda. And this is what it looks like. And I love how this is knitting up, because you have the variegated for the garter portions of the shawl, and then for the lace bits I use the tonal Guacamole. And the Guacamole really makes the green speckles in the Rock Garden pop. So I really look forward to having this done, and this is probably going to be a sample. So, but I always use my samples, at least the shawls and the hats I use, because it won't, if necessary, I'll just wash them and reblock them. But I'm not doing a lot of fairs or festivals, so my samples aren't used that much. So that's why I usually wear them as well. So I can't wait to wear that shawl because I really love the colors. And then we have my Advent project. My minis, my Advent this year is from Nora George, just like it was last year. And last year she had this beautiful fade. And the pattern for the Advent last year was a cowl called Evighet. And the thing is, the pattern only used 10 grams of each mini. So I had 24 10 grams minis left. I gifted those. But this year I wanted to use the entire minis. So I was looking for a pattern that used the 20 gram minis, and Paper Daisy Creations, Lisa Ross, released a pattern just before Advent called Fade into Advent. And this time I've been good. I haven't stopped in the middle of a row, so you get to see the entire thing. My numbers were off yesterday, so I had to do a lot of hacking, but it doesn't show. Because I didn't feel like ripping back, because I couldn't find out where I did the mistake, so I didn't know how to fix it, other than just increasing and decreasing in the different panels to get the numbers right, and it won't show when it's blocked. I started with a square in color 1, and then it's not exactly a fade this year, the Advent. It goes, I think she's planning to go from light colors to darker colors, because you could see we're starting to get into the darker colors. So it won't be a fade exactly, but it's going to be beautiful anyway, because it will be light in the center and then darker as you go on. And I'm knitting both ends at the same time, because when I break the color on this end, I attach it to this end and keep knitting. So I'll be finished with both ends about the same time. So sometime during what we in Norway call romjul, and that's our name for the week between Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. In Norway it's called romjul. It kind of means in between Christmas. That sounds strange, but... And I'm also... And that's my knitting for the time being because I haven't got a lot of time to knit. Or I knit about an hour in the morning and then I start work. And by work I don't mean Arctic Crafts, because I'm on kind of a Christmas holiday. I of course ship orders, but I don't do any dyeing of yarn. But now in this. Well, future Bente here. I want to make 2 sort of corrections. One of them is I was saying I'm not dyeing any yarn in December. That does not mean my shop is out of stock. There are loads of goodies in my shop, so go ahead if you're interested, just take a look. And I forgot one thing. I forgot to mention something. And because one of my favorite progress keeper makers, or that sounds strange, is Hannah from the Corner of Craft. She also dyes yarn under the name Chromatic Yarns, but I forgot to show you this beautiful little unicorn. And please focus. Please focus. There you go. And I always use this unicorn on Melinda's knits, Melinda's pet patterns, because her logo is a unicorn. And then I'll let you get back to the normal program. So that's all my knitting, and I wanted to cast on a sweater, but I realized that I need to finish the test knits first, and then I can cast on a sweater. I think I'm casting on a sweater as my Christmas Eve cast on, or I might do the Advent socks. I'm not sure who designed those. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I'll put the name up of the designer and I'll put the link to the pattern down below if you haven't got it, because it's a free pattern and it's really fun. You can use tiny scraps of yarn. You don't have to use entire minis. Podcasting is thirsty work. And I have only one more thing to show you, and that's an acquisition. Something I got in the mail. I hope you have heard of Craft Pod. Busy Pottering Anne in England posted about this on Instagram, and I thought it looked amazing, so I subscribed to it. You get four shipments a year. This is my 3rd. It's the Winter Craft Pod. I started the Summer Craft Pod. That's embroidery, not cross stitch, but embroidery of a bee, and it's really beautiful, but I didn't finish it, and I haven't started the autumn one. I think I showed that on the podcast. And this is the winter one, and every time in Craft Pod I get something I haven't tried before. And one of these things, I've done it before, but when I was a child, because they actually put a collage in this shipment, and it's really beautiful. And everything except the glue stick is in here. This is the directions to how to do it, and in this in the Craft Pod you have all the different papers you're using for it. The light isn't too good here because I have the ring light is too strong because I'm sitting in a dark corner. I'm winging it all together today. I haven't set up on the usual location because my kitchen counter is really messy, and I didn't feel like clearing it before I recorded. And you also get these 2 coloring pencils. That's for the collage, And as usual, there's some stitching, and this time it's you of course also get a needle and this beautiful postcard, and this is the cross stitch, and it's on, you can see by the picture that it's rather big stitches, so it will go fast, I guess. And this might be my project for romjulen, for the days between Christmas and New Year's Eve. It's kind of a Christmassy motif, so when it's done it will probably be put with my Christmas decorations, and I'll put it up for Christmas every year. And you get everything you need for that as well. You get the hoop, and you get the thread, and you get the fabric. So that's what I'm doing for Christmas. And the collage, I really want to try the collage because it looked really fun. And you have to, there's no templates or anything. It just says what shapes to cut. And I've already located my glue stick, so I know exactly what to do. And I'm starting with the collage. I think I have a cross stitch I need to finish, but it's this thing about everything new and shiny, you know. Even though I already have a cross stitch project that I'm working on, it's kind of as I was saying, everything new and shiny. It's a beautiful day today. You have a beautiful pink colored sky. I wish I could show you. I've been out for a walk this morning and I took some footage of the mountains to show people. And I can put up a picture here of one picture that I took this morning while I was doing the walk, because I have this colorway called Møysalen, and it's inspired by a mountain I can see from my kitchen window. And I took a really nice picture of that mountain when I was out on my walk today, and I'll put that up here so you can see what the inspiration was for that colorway. It's the summer Møysalen that inspired me, but the mountain is beautiful in winter as well, except it's more or less all white, but it's really pretty. And I think that's about it for this podcast. I know it's a short one, but as I was saying, I have a lot of stuff to do, and I'm busy clearing the spare bedroom because my sons are coming home for Christmas and they need a place to sleep, and my business has kind of taken over the spare bedrooms. The bed was full of Arctic crafts stuff, so I have started organizing the spare bedrooms so the beds can be slept in. And that's about it, I guess. And Severus Snape won't be chiming in today because he's sleeping. So I'll see you in Vlogmas. I still have some days to go on Vlogmas, and I'll see you again on the podcast in a week. I hope you have a nice weekend, and I'll see you again. Goodbye.